here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Heirloom Acres, we have Allyson and Stuart Joy with us. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good morning.
We're good.
Thanks for spending some time with us. I know you guys are probably pretty busy right now, getting a whole farm ready for the pumpkins growing season and Halloween and all that. This is kind of your very popular time of the year for Heirloom Acres. So I'm guessing you guys have been pretty busy lately, huh?
Yeah, all the work throughout the year comes to a head right about now.
Yeah.
And getting everybody out and to enjoy it. But this is what makes it all that work worth it.
Well, I think, and to me, this is like as a kid growing up in things, I always, don't get me wrong, I love a big bag full of candy as much as the next kid, but my favorite trips were always the trips I grew up in the East Coast, so we used to go to a place called Hard Bargain Farm, and it was kind of the same concept where you get to ride in the hay ride out to the pumpkin patch and, do all the fall fun Halloween type events out at the farm. And to me, that was way more fun than going trick-or-treating. So
oh no, I'm with you. I hate to dress up.
So to me, this is like the bigger deal. I'm like, 31st is great, get candy, but I want to go, on those weekends and go out to the pumpkin patch and go, participate in corn mazes and have fun like that. That's the kind of stuff.
Well, I'm glad we've kind of turned it into a season too, because for me, it's always been a favorite time of year for me because I grew up on a farm and this is the time of year we harvest.
Okay.
And so it's like
a break from all the work.
Well, I mean, you still have work, but you get to see the fruition of your work.
Yeah.
It's like, we made it. We're getting the cotton in. We're finishing up, and we're about to get to the holidays where we do get a break. But it's kind of cool that these fall festival type deals have, become more popular.
Sure.
But it's a great opportunity for people to come onto the farm and experience what things like I grew up with.
Sure, absolutely. A little bit. Well, I say quieter life, not less busier life, but quieter life for sure. You know,
and that's one of our goals in it, is to just get back to a little bit of a simpler time, because I didn't grow up on a farm, and so this is all new for me.
So you're kind of learning as you go a little bit here.
Yes,
okay.
But it's nice, and there's just something about being outside and seeing crops and watching them grow from seed to their final stages.
And that's the beauty of farming and ranching, is it's one of those things that you see the what I mean? It's like, if you're one of those people that you're like, I want to see results from the work I'm doing, farming and ranching is like, it's every day you're seeing that, from the planting time to, to the time where you start seeing things sprout, into even if you're doing the livestock side of things, seeing those animals at first and raising them up and, seeing them grow and, become to, maturity. I mean, it's just, everything you do out there, you're seeing, and you're like, okay, I'm doing that right. Look, ooh, that one's not doing so well.
Yeah, you can see it pretty quick.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I can appreciate that in something in a world where everything's so technical and you're like, all right, okay, I think I did it right on the email, but what, what I mean? And you're like, I don't know if I did, and I think. And there's something to be said about that when you're at the end of the day, you take, and really that's farm and ranch life, whether it's the work of the raising crops and anything, or just, hey, the fence is broke, we got to go fix the fence. Hey, here's the fence. Now, look, I see I got a nice, great, shiny fence here instead of, the decrepit thing that was there before. And, it's just, it's something about your own self-worth that kind of feels more enhanced when you're able to see your fruits of your labor firsthand. So.
Well, and it's like what a lot of the FFA and 4-H kids are experiencing right now at the Eastern Fair. That's what you're working towards. And I love that we have things like fairs and then these and what we've created with Heirloom Acres, where we get to share that with the public. Yeah. And they get to come out and experience that all that hard work. And
absolutely.
It's just... It's a lot of fun, because like the other day I was out there, I was just mowing the grass, and the sunflowers, we planted a sunflower field, they're starting to open up. And it's just, that's the best part. I mean, I don't know how many people, unfortunately I got the timing off just a little bit. So the first weekend, which is this past weekend, we're open, people were like, what's that field? Like, they don't know they're sunflowers. You can't tell what they are until that head opens up.
And then you're like, everyone's like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Now they pop. And it's, but it's exciting to see that, because it's like, okay.
It makes
what
it
we've
all
been working
worthwhile.
towards.
It makes the rest of the year worthwhile.
Sure. So I'm curious, because obviously and we'll talk all about like the fun things people can do out there, but during the year, what's your main crops and things? I mean, is it all strictly towards the pumpkin patch stuff now, or do you guys still do a lot of like the cotton and stuff to put food on the table, so to speak here?
Yeah, my mom and dad still farm, and
Okay.
so and I assist them with that, and so on that side of things was totally a separate business. We do cotton,
Okay.
and alfalfa hay, which is pretty typical in this
Okay.
valley. So we're about done with the last cutting of hay.
Okay.
We'll be doing that pretty soon, and then cotton's going to be ready to pick pretty soon, which is pretty cool. When you come out to Heirloom Acres, you see everything that we grow right there in that one little area. So we got the corn, maize, which we don't. The corn is grown in this valley for silage and whatnot, but
Sure.
we just do it for the maize.
Yeah.
We got pumpkins, we have sunflowers, we have a cotton field right there as well, and it's opening up, which is gorgeous to me. Solid white in just about a week or two.
Sure.
And then also we have an alfalfa field right there too. So it's great for field trips because we show them everything all in one little area.
I'm glad that now that we're living in a world where kids can go to school normally and do all.
Yes.
It's glad I'm sure that part of it's just as cool as that are back in school. But like you said, those trips in the fall where they one day they get to come out to the farm and
Right.
and ride the hayride and learn where their food came from a little bit. I
Yeah,
love that.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's so great, and I'm glad we're able to do that again. I would imagine, like, do you ever get photographers? Because, like you said, when you get like these
Yes.
sunflower fields, and when they're blooming in the right time, I imagine you get a lot of photographers, people, art types that are saying, "Hey, we have permission to come and do some photo shoots out there, or do
Yes.
something like that." Or,
Yeah, we do have that option available on Thursday evenings in October. Photographers can book a session
okay.
and then bring their clients out.
Oh,
and,
perfect.
And it's kind of a private session, so they can go wherever they
Sure,
want and,
go where-
and
whatever-
get their pictures. So,
Nice. So if you want to get kind of that nice farm nature,
Yes, it's
look with family
beautiful.
photos or wedding photos, or
Yes.
a lot of people have a lot of different.
And we're even having a photography class from one of the schools come out. They wanted to do that, bring a class of students out, and we're getting a little bit more and more interest in that. So
You
Yeah,
know
but-
what? You know what should be the rule is like that's great, but you got to give us a copy of like some of this, because I imagine that would be great for your own personal.
Oh, yeah.
Scrapbooks and libraries and
Yeah.
things. When you look at the history of the farm and
Yeah.
things, it's like look at these beautiful photos from fields over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Out at Heirloom
it is.
Acres.
It's so neat too because people share their special moments
Yeah.
with us when they do that, coming out for senior pictures or engagement pictures, whatever it is. And we know that's such an important time in their life that
Sure.
they're going to have those pictures forever.
Sure.
too.
And the cool part is now for the rest of their lives, a little part of Heirloom Acres is with them because 30, 20, 40 years from now, they're going to look at those pics. I remember our high school pics,
Yes.
remember our wedding pics, and there's Heirloom Acres. Like, oh, remember that sunflower field?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
Yeah, well,
it
we
lives on
make-
forever because of
It
that.
does.
we make picture stations out of like old equipment and trucks and stuff. So like my high school truck is one of those. It's like a '78 Ford that's out there, and it's in like so many pictures all over social media. And it's hilarious because as kids, I mean, it wasn't cool when we were driving it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You're embarrassed to be in it. You're like,
Yeah,
oh.
it's like puke green color, and I mean but
Oh, now it's one
it's
of our
funny.
favorite picture stations.
Yeah.
I think every teenager, especially boys, your first car was a big piece of junk. It
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
was. If you paid more than $50 for it, you probably got ripped off.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and this year we set this one up as our Christmas picture station. So the past couple of years we've done just one picture station that's actually Christmas because a lot of people come out to get their Christmas card photos, and we thought, well, they need a Christmas picture station.
Well, we
Yeah.
might say, quick, get some snow.
Right. So we actually put it by the cotton. So
No, it's just got
Yeah.
a
look a little
white
bit-
kind of snow.
Yeah,
thing.
right. New Mexico's white
Yeah, that's our
Christmas there.
version. Unless you live in the mountains, this is the best we got. Sorry.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Very cool. So let's talk about like if folks want to come out this weekend. Like I said, you've already been open a weekend or two here, but we still got plenty of weekends between now and Halloween for you to come out and bring the whole family and enjoy all the cool different things that you can experience at Heirloom Acres. Let's talk the corn maze a little bit because that's a draw. It's a huge corn maze that I really am curious about the planning of that because I imagine there's a lot of math and science going on when you're trying to lay a pattern out for a maze.
Yeah. So we try to get a theme first, and so we both work on that. And takes longer than you'd expect.
Yeah, and then we changed themes last minute, so that was
That didn't
also
help.
fun.
Yeah, we had one, and then we get it drawn up, and we're just like, it's not working. And so we last minute ditched that one and went to something else, which is the one we have.
I just had an image in my head where y'all are working together, and then Stuart, not one of you just walks in the room. That's it. We're going pyramids.
That's about what happened.
It's pretty close to what happened.
We're out of town, and we were like, we want to do that one again. It just wasn't coming together.
I was like, we got to plant corn in about 2 weeks. We got to figure this out.
Right.
Stuart style, we were kind of last minute, but we did a theme this year that says "Get lost and find joy at Heirloom Makers" because
cool.
That's one of our big hopes as people come out is that they do experience joy. Reconnecting, unplugging,
absolutely,
being around a campfire with friends and family,
recharging your batteries a little bit, and reminding what life's all about.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a little nod to the sunflowers in it. The O in it is a sunflower head.
Oh, cool.
So that that's part of that as well. We did sunflowers. I kind of tried it out, a little trial, just a little tiny plot last year. People loved them, so I did about an acre worth of it this year, and really wanted to kind of. I mean, it's just beautiful.
Sure,
it's just gorgeous.
I'm curious for you guys. So I think it's hot. What's like? What's the inspiration? What's like? Do you always? Because I imagine it's just human nature. You do it one year, and I got to do better the next year, and I got to do better the next year, and that becomes a problem because you get really good, and it's really difficult to top yourself sometimes. But what's is it just something you're churning throughout the year?
Yeah.
And one day you're like,
always.
I have more ideas than I have time.
Yeah.
As soon
that's
as we
the problem.
finish the season, we're like, okay. I mean, already we're talking like, next year we need to do this different. And one thing we just try to focus on is having quality.
Sure.
More isn't always better, and so we just want to do a few things and do them really well.
I got you.
Pace ourselves.
Because we have lots of ideas, and we hear lots of ideas from the community, but we try to keep up with what we can manage.
And that's just sometimes the problem in some scenarios like this is you try to go too big too fast,
right?
And you end up not doing it right. And it's like I'd rather slow and steady, the tortoise winning as opposed to the hare in this race. And
we had a mentor that was really good that has another maze, and the best advice we got from him was he said, "Be true to yourself.
Gotcha.
Figure out who you want to be and stay true to that." And so early on, we spent a lot of time coming up with the name and our values and things like that. And trying to stick to that. So, Heirloom is something that's passed down.
Sure.
And
a treasure.
It's a treasure.
Yeah.
And the land is that to some extent. It's been passed in my family in multiple generations. But more importantly, Allyson didn't come from ag background, but both of us came from families that passed intangible things.
Sure. The values were the same. Even
the
though
values
she
that got passed.
with her hands in the dirt her whole
So,
life.
values of family and our faith and hard work and having fun together. And so we try to incorporate that into what we do, that to make sure it's a nod to those value system of family.
Sure.
Is a big part of it. And so each thing we do, we're aiming towards that with the maze design. Yeah. I mean, I always kick myself. I find things are wrong with it every year. It's hard to
Well,
get
your biggest
perfect.
critics are yourself. They're always the hardest critics are always your own self.
But it's fun because when you get a new canvas every year and you get to try it again and do something different.
Is there years where you're like, years? I think it came out years. Pun not intended there. Is there been years where you're kind of like, all right, I did it this way, but next year I want to, you know what I mean? Like you're getting inspired for next year while doing this year's maze.
Oh,
Yeah.
I already have one right now, and I'm not going to reveal it. It's going to make it a surprise, but there's one I'm like, all right, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but it sounds awesome in my mind. I can picture it, but I got to figure out how to do it.
How to make the execution happen.
Yeah, no, but it happens all the time.
So
I'm always
come
thinking.
and see his brainchild for this year at in the Core Mage. Of course, that's
which
just
Allison's the originator of this year.
This is your concept, I guess you could say, or your theme.
Yes.
She got the conceptual put together.
Yeah, and then we kind of worked together on the design of it. So.
Okay, cool. Well, that's I'm just curious. I'm not trying to get personal or anything, but for your marriage and things, is that half the fun? Is just Like, is part of your marriage just doing all these things? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's half the surprise.
Well, it's half the stress.
Like, if y'all didn't do this, what would you do as a married couple? I mean, you know
Well,
what
no,
I mean?
I really am surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought I got her convinced to do it,
Yeah.
but I didn't think she was going to get as involved as she did.
And we were both just as equally surprised that I did get on board with it. But yeah,
It's
we
been
joke
great.
because even as we look back, our first year, it was very stressful, which we had just had our third child. We had a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a
Okay.
newborn, and just trying to start it. And we didn't know what we were doing.
Sure.
And so it was very stressful. And it was stressful in our marriage. But as we've grown over the years, it's become something that's brought us even closer together.
Once
Yeah.
you got, well, it's and I think that's true with every single marriage. It doesn't matter what scenario you put that marriage in. Those first years, you're still learning and feeling each other
Yes.
out and learning. And then, of course, if you're adding to the family, that always adds a layer or 12 of confusion.
yeah.
And
But
so,
it's been good. It's been a good learning and growing process, and we still have our moments.
But how lucky are your kids that they grow up on Heirloom Acres?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I think it's special.
I think that's the part you can't trade, and
Yeah.
I don't know, we want to get folks to come out and have fun here, but for you guys, that's got to be the best part of all of this.
It
is
really-
our children, your children
Yes.
are going to grow up right here on this farm, and who knows? 20 years from now, they might be the ones, you guys are sitting on the porch telling them, don't forget this.
Yeah.
Don't forget
I think
that. They're the ones.
Yeah,
I think our
it's
6-year-old will be running it next year. I mean, she's like,
Truly, she worked a little bit in the ticket booth this year. She does not understand why she can't do the money. Because you're still learning to count.
That's right. We'll get there,
We'll get there, but yeah, they
don't
do.
have that big plastic money like they do in the classroom.
Right.
You got to get the.
Yeah, but it's special. It's special to see them run around and play, and to think about my father-in-law being on that land growing up, and then
Sure.
now they're playing on it in a different capacity. It is special.
So, are there senior members of family still involved in running
yeah.
things,
My
or-
dad still actively farms.
Very
Her
good.
dad comes.
So it's three, 4 generations that
Yeah,
are all at the
yeah.
same time.
Mm-hmm.
And
running
even
the
her
farm right now.
family's been really involved. Her dad,
Oh, good.
he works in IT and management and stuff, but he grew up, her grandfather was a carpenter. So he grew up around carpenters.
Okay.
So a lot of the woodworking that we've done, building, he's my, I call him our
He's-
personal carpenter.
He
Nice.
is.
And that helps.
He comes over and does
tremendously.
projects with
So
us.
we see
it's
little
been fun.
bits of my family on there too that
Sure.
wasn't there before.
Well-
and my mom comes over and helps watch the girls, which is huge. And
And I-
siblings help. And
And I imagine it helps too, because even a farm in 2022, even though it's farm rural, there's still a lot of IT type technology going on, and keeping
Oh,
the
my
record
goodness.
keeping,
Yeah.
security,
Yes.
scheduling for waterings and things.
Yeah.
There's computers and science that can help with all
It's
that.
very
I
complex.
imagine
There's
some
a
of
lot
the
of stuff.
technology on the farm uses very much some of that.
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
so.
And I've used some of that to actually make the design, things of that nature. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just curious, since this is your whole growing up farm and ranch, and like how it's done today versus growing up, is it night and day different, or is it similar?
Yes and no.
Yeah?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. Growing up, I've watched it change just from the time I was a little kid to
Yeah.
when I was leaving high school.
Sure.
But there are little nods to the past as well. Like I still use flood irrigation on that corn because of where that particular one is. I don't have drip and other things.
Sure.
But so we still have some of the past that's in there. But yeah, it's
Well, and
farming
just,
has changed.
and just
quite a
because
bit.
it's old doesn't mean it's not good or
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
work.
Right.
You know, sometimes the old way is the better way.
Yep.
May take a little longer, but it's a more thorough process or a more better and that's the balance. You got to
Yeah.
And as a farm owner, you always juggle those decisions on, do I want to save money or what do I want to sacrifice here? Quality or money? And you got to make those decisions
Right.
sometimes on which direction to go on that based on what's smart for the farm.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's probably half the battle right there is just learning all that stuff.
Yes.
So anyway, let's get back to the fun stuff. Of course, they can come out to the maze, getting involved with the maze. Of course, they're going to be doing the hay rides out to the pumpkin patch and pick your pumpkins. What's some of the other stuff they can come out and do this weekend
Yes.
and every weekend till Halloween here?
Well, we design it so that our pumpkin patch is close, so that you
Okay.
can just use a wheelbarrow to.
So if you don't
to go
want
over.
to,
So if you don't want to
the
have
hay
to,
ride,
right,
you can hoof it up there.
right.
No problem.
So all of our pumpkins are New Mexico True certified, so we grow them all right there on the
They're all
farm.
growing right on the farm.
All grown on the farm. So our grain train is actually what we do in lieu of a hayride. So you're actually sitting on seats in little compartments that look like an old grain bin.
Okay.
And so this year we cut a path through the maze so that you can ride the grain train
So you
through
can
the
kinda
maze.
see
So
through the
that's
maze.
kind of fun.
Yeah,
It's
so
almost
if you
like-
don't want to walk through the maze,
Yeah.
we'll take you on a
try
ride.
it.
It's like the monorail at Disney World, where it kind of goes through Space
Yeah.
Mountain.
Yeah,
You can kind of
exactly.
see it.
Pretty much
but
the
not
same.
go in it.
Basically the same.
Same thing.
So we also have a bee line, which is a kiddie zip line, which the kids love. And that's
cool.
also close to our hay barn. So if parents want to sit and have iced coffee
Sure.
or hot chocolate
Watch
and watch
the kids go run down the rope swing or the swing.
right, the bee line.
Yeah, beeline.
And then we have a 100-foot jumping pillow, which is an in-ground inflatable pillow. And
Oh,
so kids
cool.
and adults alike can jump on that.
Everybody loves that.
It's so fun.
And you let
Oh,
the
yeah.
adults on, which is awesome.
We
because
do.
Usually kids are all the ones, and the adults like, I kind of want to be on there, but I
Yeah.
don't want to look like I'm a weirdo.
It's fun. Our teens love it. A lot of our team members that work with us after we close in the evenings, they say, "Can we go jump?" And
That's
so
great.
they go
Yeah.
jump and
Hey,
have fun.
hey, if
and-
that's an employee perk, you got to,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So they
Or finish your chores and who jumps
Yeah.
for
that's
you.
pretty much that's how it goes. So we have
So
that
we
this
added
year.
a basketball bin. We got some animals. We added also a pumpkin cannon or blaster. I like to call it blaster. It sounds
It
fun.
sounds cooler.
But it's not shooting those giant ones. It's shooting like the smaller
minis.
pumpkins,
Oh,
the minis.
the-
but
yeah,
yeah,
little mini
but
gourds
it'll
there.
launch them pretty good at 10 walls. So
It's like chucking softballs.
yeah, exactly.
One we
And then
got-
they explode when
Yeah,
you hit
yeah,
something.
with a-
or
you know,
they
the cool finish.
blast through the wall. That happened a few times.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
imagine, depending
Yeah.
on the velocity there.
Oh,
Does it
yeah.
all run like CO2 or what's the
Just
propellant?
compressed air.
Okay, just compressed air.
Yeah, yeah, it
Cool.
works great. And then, so that if you're a little bit of adrenaline junkie, you might enjoy that a little bit. And then we have just some yard games, cornhole,
Sure.
things like that.
Backyard games,
Oh, we
sit
got little
around.
duck races, which are those water pumps, and your little rubber duckies. That's fun for
Is
the
it similar to
kiddos.
like the Deming duck races? Because those are real ducks.
You know, I've
aren't
never
they?
been to that.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
how they
that's
do
big.
that? I
Ours are
didn't know.
not real ducks.
Yeah,
for
I-
that. We
no.
have ducks, but they don't. we
Yeah,
don't
I
race
think they
them.
use real ducks on those.
Oh yeah. No, this is a rubber ducky
Okay.
one.
I just hear duck races and think Deming right away.
Oh yeah. I've heard of it, but I've never been. It would be cool.
Me either, but I hear about it. So,
And a good way to end the night out there is we have campfires that can be reserved if you'd
Oh,
like.
nice.
And that's a great, just kind of cap the day off,
Yeah.
roast some s'mores,
Yeah.
enjoy,
Tell stories.
Yeah.
That's one of our
Connect
favorite,
around the
favorite
fire
things.
is good for people.
Absolutely. Perhaps someone shows up with a guitar. It's
Yeah.
just- it's-
No, we've had that.
Yeah.
Little jam session.
It is. Oh, and on that note, we are going to have some live music this week.
Okay.
This weekend on Saturday the 8th from
Okay.
5 to 8 p.m. We're going to have a bluegrass and country trio
sweet.
come out. So
Very good.
that should be fun.
So they'll be picking some fiddles and while you're picking pumpkins.
Yes,
Yep, there you go.
exactly. Perfect.
Very
So-
good. Now, if you're like, where the heck is Heirloom Makers? I've never. It's in Artesia. If you GPS it, 1706 East Main is the actual
Yes.
address there. Just when you get to Artesia, get on Main Street, go east, and you'll find it.
Yep, pretty much. We're just about a mile past the refinery there on the Lovington Highway.
Yes, yeah. It's So instead of turn towards the Bulldog Bowl, go the other way.
Correct.
Yes.
And that'll take you out towards Heirloom
Correct.
Makers.
Right.
Yes.
Don't keep going too far into. You'll end up in like Lovington or something.
Yeah. If you're crossing the river, you went too far.
Yeah.
If you're in Maljamar, you went too far. But yeah, just and follow the signs. There'll be signs guiding you to where you need to go and all that good
Yeah, you'll see it on the right when you're coming in. So
And then when you get close, just in case you have to duck some chucking pumpkins, be careful.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
yeah.
But yeah, come bring the whole family. Come on out. Is there other things to buy and things, other produce and stuff they can get out there, or is it just the pumpkins? And all that
Well,
right
the
now?
admission will get you in for the whole day.
Okay.
We'll give you wristbands. The only additional charge is food from the concessions.
Which you're gonna
pumpkins.
want.
Yeah, if you want to purchase pumpkin, that's additional charge, and then the blaster, that's an additional charge.
Okay.
Other than that,
And
everything's
campfire
included.
reservation.
Oh yeah,
if you want to
campfire.
reserve a campfire.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
additional
But
charge.
the main attractions are all included.
Just a
Yeah.
ballpark for people if they're interested in reserving a campfire. Each campfire, ideally, about how many people? Kind of.
we don't cap it.
Okay. But what would be comfortable, you
but-
think, on average?
Comfortable around 10 people.
Okay. I just didn't
but
like
if
someone's
you
like,
have
I
a
got
bigger-
50 people. And I'm
Right.
like, well.
Yeah, you would maybe want to get 2 or 3 if you had that many people. But if you're going to kind of rotate, you
Sure.
can just get one. So everybody needs an admission ticket to get in, but then
Okay.
you just have to purchase one campfire for everyone.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then come on down and get ready to celebrate. And just
Yes.
come And even if you're like, well, I mean, I don't need to go ride on a pumpkin patch or anything. Just come on out and see the.
It's a good ambiance.
Come on out on the farm and hang out. Sit back and maybe have a lemonade and watch the kids ride the hayride and shoot down the zip line. And like for me, and of course the age I'm now, I think I'm a little older than you guys, but I'm at a point where I go to like a Disney World or Busch Gardens or something like that, and I'm like I'm having more fun just sitting on this bench eating some big giant ice cream or something,
and watching
just watching the roller coasters, and watching people do their thing. And I think if you're not wanting to per se get on the hayride or go do that, then just sit and enjoy the atmosphere and chat with people. If you're a grandparent or something, hang out with the grandkids, let them go run around and have fun. And while you're just enjoying the day out on the farm, basically.
Especially this weekend, it looks like it's going to be
weather's
so cool.
Weather's going to be temperature-wise should be nice.
It's going to be perfect.
Maybe
beautiful.
Wear your boots and maybe a
wear
rain
your
slicker
boots,
or something.
It is a farm, so there is going to be mud. But
and that happens. It's not all asphalt roads and driveways out there. It's a farm.
It's a farm. So wear your boots and.
So I'm going to put you guys on the spot. What's your most favorite aspect of all the whole festival at Heirloom Lakers? Is it the maze? Is it the pumpkin ride? What's the part you dig the most? You guys personally?
I think this is kind of all encompassing for me is the people.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I love
meeting neighbors and
and new people.
Yeah.
So the first year there was a lot of people that I went to high school with, I grew up with, where it came out, and I hadn't seen in like 15 years.
Oh, wow.
So that was cool.
Lane.
But then. Now that we're in our fourth season, I see people coming back from like Hobbs and Loveton and surrounding communities that were here years before, and I recognize them, and they're already making this a annual tradition for them. And I don't know, that's really cool too. And then also just our staff, a lot of, we get repeats and we have a lot of fun.
And then some of them graduate, and then I get
because generally probably this year you have some seasonal. And usually high school, college age kids.
Yeah, and we have some older ones, but the high school kids, when they.
I mean, you probably have employees that are there all year for doing the rest of the farm. Or
not yet,
family?
just us.
Just the family, okay.
But
she's like, hey, we hire somebody?
We probably need to.
But for seasonal help,
So we just get them, for 5 weekends, and it is fun, and we do get to develop some good relationships with them, and then later going to see them play sports or things like that. It is special, and the relationships that we've formed closer with our family, like family that should come over from Lubbock or to help, and Amarillo, just to help there, and then the community relationships.
Well, and what I love about that is, especially with your, because then you get people that they come back year after year, they love doing their parts, but they kind of become pseudo celebrities in their own little self, because all the people that come every year, and it's like, oh, we're going to go see Sue. She's always at the Heirloom Makers, and she's, guiding people to the pumpkin patch, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, and then after a while, they're like, why isn't Sue doing it this year? You know what I mean? It kind of gets like that, where you're used to, this time of year, these are the people we see, these are the things we do. And so it just kind of turns into that tradition, routine, and which is kind of farm living, really.
Yeah. I love that it brings people together.
Yeah. So good answer. So I'm curious, what is there plans for other future? Because like I said, you're always thinking and percolating. You're like, all right, we got the corn maze, we got the pumpkin blaster. Is there anything percolating in the brain?
I still have a list we're working on.
Always.
Okay. Like, I mean, how crazy does it get? Just curious. I'm like, is it like, all right, picture 4 platforms? And so I was like, all right, hold on. I mean, does it get like that sometimes, or is it,
We actually did get some architectural drawings and something where they had a big old outlook that was like a 3-story type deal or something. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I think that's also part of the fun too, because you're like, I got a farm, I got all this land. Let's do something fun. You know what I mean? What can we do to create that people would love to come and see and hang out? And let's face it, these are things you probably typically can't do in your neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stuff like that. But we all agree, hey, this is fun. But they have to worry about disturbing neighbors when there's a pumpkin flying through their front window.
Well, and there's also projects that need to be done to just make our life a little easier that nobody else would even notice. Like,
Sure.
I'd love to put the corn on drip or something.
Sure.
Yeah, that make life a lot simpler. But,
Yeah.
And
one
we
thing at a
joke-
time,
Maybe
though.
you can sleep in a little bit or something.
Yeah,
you know? It's
yeah.
like, I don't think
Exactly.
I turn on the sprinklers. They come on themselves.
Yeah. And one of the things we joke is that we do everything at least twice around the farm. And,
Yeah.
walls will blow down or the pumpkins got held out our first year. And some of that is just weather related. You
Sure.
can't,
You can't control it.
can't control it.
Act
But then
to God,
other
yeah.
things we're like, okay, let's do this different so we don't have to do it 4 times.
Sure, but that's farm life too.
So,
It's like you got to
it
find a
is.
way to do something. Even if you don't have all the material you need, the job still needs to get done. All right,
Right.
time to
You
get
just-
creative, and
Exactly.
that's a farmer.
Yes.
That's exactly
Problem
what a farmer
solver.
is. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what they do. And so when they're very good. So again, is it every Saturday and Sunday now through Halloween
It's
or?
every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So
Friday,
Friday
Saturdays.
evenings from 6 to 9, and then Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
And then Sunday afternoons from 2 to 8.
Yeah, and again, it's Heirloom Acres in Artesia, 1706 East Main. Just if you're coming from Roswell here, as you're going, you'll hit the second traffic light
Yeah.
Yes.
in
Yeah.
Artesia there. That's Main Street. You're going to
Turn
want to
left.
hang a left.
Turn
Yeah.
left.
And then keep going, and then you'll follow signs, find everything to Heirloom Acres.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, very good. Is there anything we skipped over or missed or something we want to talk about that we got sidetracked on?
I don't know. We covered it.
We
pretty
kind of
good.
covered it.
I think we covered
kept
it.
love-
The
'cause I
history
love-
and everything.
When I
Yeah.
get folks that I'm kind of curious about the life and all that,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, I love this. And I think it's fun because I think this is the kind of stuff people that don't know anything about farming
Right.
and ranching need to know about farming and ranching. You know,
Yes.
this is, especially the world we live in with food. And I say this every time I'm talking to farmer and ranchers, it's the one industry on the planet that demand is growing and the people that are involved to make that demand get its supply is shrinking. So, the farm and ranching has to get creative to feed more mouths with less people and less space.
Yeah.
Right.
Less everything. So that's the problem, and that's how they make it happen. every day.
Well,
So,
I would like to say that we really do appreciate all the support we've gotten from the
Yes.
community, communities, southeastern New Mexico. There's been a lot of people, the ones that have supported it the first year, the people that continue to come out, being an opportunity to visit with you. We're very blessed and we're very grateful for that. And we just hope that it brings joy to your family and that you have a good time. And then also just want to encourage people, hey, support this industry,
Absolutely.
support the kids out at the fair this week.
Yeah.
They've
fair
worked
is a
really
good
hard.
reminder. Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities to reconnect with agrarian culture.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's good to understand those things.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely. Matter of fact, if you want to come a little later in the morning to air, I'm going to give you a pass for this Saturday. If you come a little later in the morning, that's okay if you're going to be out at the Junior Livestock Ring.
Yes.
For the livestock show.
Yeah,
in
go to the
morning.
auction.
Because they're going to
Yeah.
help those kids out.
Yes.
Then we spend all your money there, save a few bucks, and bring it up to Heirloom
Right.
Acres.
there you go. There you go.
Win for everyone.
Don't bet all your thousands on one of the pigs there. Hold a little back and then come on out to
Right,
Heirloom
right.
Acres afterward.
No,
That'd be great.
these are great communities to live in. I tell people you're going to move to New Mexico, there's only one part of the state you need to live in. So
There you go.
I'm partial down here. I love it. It's great. We got the best people.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for doing this and keeping and really creating a new Southeast New Mexico tradition here.
Yes.
And the reason it's successful is because you guys made it that way. And
Well,
I know,
thank you.
I know.
Thank you.
Yes, the support and everything, people coming, but they wouldn't be there if you guys didn't make a pretty cool environment for them to come and enjoy. So
thank you.
thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you
Yeah,
guys
it's good
this
visiting with you.
weekend. And
Okay.
come on, come hungry, come ready to chuck some pumpkins, come ready to get lost in a corn maze. They will let you out eventually. It wasn't like we were joking
we will come
earlier.
find you.
You don't have to bring a tent and live there if you get lost. Thank you guys.
Thank
And,
you.
Thanks,
I'm,
Mike.
I'm sure you got 12 fires to put out right now, so
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
go do that.
Thank you.
All right, it's 9:56. Let's take a quick break before we wrap